Wall Street trying to hold on to these records with energy in Venezuela front and center. The Trump administration briefed Congress on its actions in Venezuela as we await the president to sit down with oil executives on Friday. Welcome to the Big Money Show. I'm Taylor Riggs, along with my co-hosts Brian Brenberg, Jackie DeAngelis, and a very special someone on my left, Dagan McDowell. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
I'm glad I got to put some lipstick on before the show started. It was close.
The right thing to do on your birthday.
It was close.
We got ya. Mascara's next.
Yeah.
With us for the hour, Michael Lee, strategy founder. Michael Lee, great to have you. Cheers for everyone. President Trump announcing that Venezuela will transfer about 30 to 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil to the United States.
Welcome to Official Dr. John Podcast. What just happened? A court has frozen all of Trump's assets after he failed to post bond for his civil fraud judgment, shutting down the Trump Organization, locking Mar-a-Lago, and sending his approval rating crashing to 25%. Let me explain what is happening here, because this is a massive blow to Trump on top of everything else he is already facing.
Michael Lee, I want to separate a few things. We have markets, we have fundamentals, we have earnings season, we have CES, we have NVIDIA. We have Venezuela and oil. How are you thinking, if anything, those are both bullish for the market this year? Is there geopolitical risk in the markets this year?
I know Dagan's been talking about this number of proven oil reserves, which is neither proven, probably not there. I don't think it really matters because they have 1 million barrels a day coming into the open market. Okay, it's going to take anywhere from $10 to $100 billion to get that, to double that, right? And you're talking about a global market, which is over 100 million barrels a day.
The New York civil fraud case started when the Attorney General sued Trump for systematically lying about the value of his properties to get better loans and insurance rates. The case went to trial, and the evidence was overwhelming. Trump's own financial statements contradicted each other. Appraisers testified that his claimed values were wildly inflated. The judge ruled against Trump, and the judgment was nearly $500 million plus interest. That amount has now grown to over $500 million with penalties. Trump appealed, but here is the problem. Under New York law, when you appeal a civil judgment, you have to post a bond for the full amount. That bond guarantees that if you lose the appeal, the money is available to pay the judgment. So Trump needed to come up with over $500 million in cash or collateral to secure the appeal. Trump has been trying to do that for months. He has been going to banks. He has been going to bondsmen. He has been trying to liquidate assets, but nobody will give him the money. Why? Because the fraud case literally proved that Trump's assets are not worth what he claims. Banks do not want to lend $500 million against properties that might only be worth a fraction of that. Specialty bondsmen also refused. Nobody trusts Trump's valuations anymore. Trump tried to sell some smaller properties, but they are not moving. Partly because the market knows Trump is desperate and waiting for fire sale prices. Partly because Trump's properties are now tainted by scandal. Who wants to buy a Trump-branded hotel when the owner is being impeached and might go to prison? So Trump has been stalling. His lawyers have been filing motion after motion, trying to delay, but the court ran out of patience. The Attorney General's office went to a federal judge and asked for an emergency asset freeze, arguing that Trump might try to move assets to shell companies or shift money offshore where it could not be reached. The federal judge agreed. The freeze is nationwide. Every property Trump owns, every bank account, every investment, all frozen until the judgment is paid. The impact has been immediate and catastrophic. The Trump Organization operates on cash flow. It collects rent from tenants, fees from golf club members, revenue from hotel guests. That cash is used to pay employees, service debt, maintain properties, and fund operations. But now, with the asset freeze, the Trump Organization cannot access that cash. Bank accounts are frozen. Employees started getting notices that paychecks are delayed. Some employees are being laid off because there is no money to pay them. Creditors, contractors, suppliers, vendors, they are not getting paid either. That is going to trigger defaults. If the Trump Organization cannot pay its debts, creditors can sue. They can force the sale of properties. This could spiral into a complete collapse of the entire organization. And Trump's properties are shutting down one by one. Mar-a-Lago is the most visible example. It is Trump's winter residence and a private club where members pay enormous fees to join. But yesterday, security guards locked the gates. A sign was posted saying the club is closed indefinitely due to legal issues. Members who were staying there were asked to leave. Events that were scheduled for the next several months, weddings, corporate retreats, political fundraisers, all canceled. Mar-a-Lago generates millions of dollars in revenue every year. That revenue is now zero. And it is not just Mar-a-Lago. Trump National Golf Club in New Jersey is closed. Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. is closed. Multiple properties across the country are shutting down because they cannot operate without cash flow. This is the destruction of Trump's business empire in real time. The empire he has been building since the 1980s, the empire he has bragged about for decades, is collapsing in a matter of days. And Trump is losing his mind. He went on Truth Social and posted a series of desperate rants. Court mob thieves stealing America. Total witch hunt. They're taking everything I built. This is communism. The posts were incoherent, desperate, and panicked. They got hundreds of millions of views. But then they started disappearing. Trump or his staff deleted them, probably because they make Trump look unhinged, or maybe because his lawyers told him to stop posting about the case. Either way, Trump's Truth Social account has gone dark again. He is not posting, he is not communicating, he is just spiraling, and his approval rating reflects it, 25%, down from just days ago. Every piece of bad news drives his numbers lower. The timing could not be worse. Trump is already dealing with impeachment. The Senate now has Republican defections locked in. That means enough votes to convict. The trial is starting within days. Trump is already dealing with an arrest warrant. Marshals are still trying to figure out how to take the president into custody. Trump is already dealing with recordings proving he ordered illegal policies, and now his entire business empire is frozen. This asset freeze also validates one of the impeachment charges. The resolution charges Trump with economic sabotage and financial crimes. And now a court has literally frozen his assets because of fraud. That is proof. That is validation of the impeachment charge. Senators who were on the fence about voting to convict now have another reason to say yes. Trump is a fraud. A court proved it. His empire is being dismantled. He is unfit to be president. And Trump has no way to fight this. He cannot post the bond because nobody will lend to him. He cannot sell assets to raise cash because the assets are frozen. He cannot operate his businesses because they are paralyzed. He is trapped, financially trapped, and this is going to cascade. If the Trump organization cannot pay its debts, creditors are going to start calling in loans. That could trigger defaults. That could trigger bankruptcies. Trump could lose everything, not just temporarily, permanently. His real estate empire that he built over decades could be gone. His brand destroyed. His legacy reduced to financial fraud and failure. This is catastrophic, and it is happening while Trump is also facing removal from office, arrest, and potential prison time. Trump is being destroyed on every front simultaneously. Political, legal, financial. All of it crashing down at once, and there is no way out. Let me walk through the scenarios going forward because this is not a temporary inconvenience. This is permanent destruction. Scenario 1. Trump somehow comes up with a $500 million bond. How? He would have to convince someone to lend him the money, but we have already established that banks and bondsmen will not do it. His only option would be to find private lenders or investors, maybe foreign investors, maybe Russian oligarchs, maybe Saudi Arabia, but that creates massive problems. If Trump takes money from foreign entities while he is president, that is a major scandal. It could be illegal depending on the terms, and it would definitely be used against him in the impeachment trial. So even if Trump finds the money, it is going to create more problems than it solves. Scenario 2. Trump loses the appeal and has to pay the $500 million judgment. If that happens, the court will seize Trump's assets to satisfy the judgment. That means Trump Tower gets sold. Mar-a-Lago gets sold. His golf courses get sold. Everything gets liquidated. Trump could lose his entire real estate portfolio. He would be left with nothing. Well, not nothing. He would still have some assets, but his empire would be gone. The Trump organization would cease to exist, and Trump's net worth would plummet. He might not even be a billionaire anymore. That would be the ultimate humiliation for someone who has defined himself by his wealth for his entire life. Scenario 3. Trump declares bankruptcy. If Trump cannot pay the judgment and cannot get the asset freeze lifted, bankruptcy might be his only option. He has declared bankruptcy before, multiple times actually, all for his businesses. But this would be different. This would be personal bankruptcy. Trump would have to liquidate assets to pay creditors. The court would oversee the process, and Trump would lose control of his empire. The Trump organization would be dismantled. Properties would be sold off. The brand would be destroyed. This is the worst-case scenario for Trump, and it is looking increasingly likely. The asset freeze also has massive political implications beyond impeachment. It validates everything Democrats have been saying about Trump being a fraud. Senators can point to this and say, Trump is a fraud. A court proved it. We have to convict. And the Senate numbers keep growing. More Republicans are signaling they might flip. Why? Because Trump is collapsing. His approval rating is at 25%. His business empire is frozen. There is an arrest warrant out for him. Recordings prove he ordered illegal policies. There is no defending any of this. So Republicans are abandoning ship. They are thinking about their own political survival. And that means voting to convict. The Senate trial is starting within days. The vote will happen shortly after, and Trump's removal is guaranteed. Once Trump is removed, the vice president becomes president. But he is going to inherit a disaster. The economy is crashing. The stock market has dropped thousands of points. Trade has been halted with major partners. Millions of protesters are rioting. The government is barely functional. And Trump's supporters are going to be furious. They are going to see Trump's removal as a coup. They are going to blame Republicans who voted to convict. There could be violence. There could be domestic terrorism. The new president is going to have to navigate all of that. He is also going to have to deal with Trump's legal problems. Once Trump is out of office, he loses presidential immunity. He can be prosecuted for everything: the illegal policies, the obstruction of justice, the financial fraud, all of it. Trump is going to spend the rest of his life in courtrooms, and he is probably going to end up in prison. Let us also talk about the business implications beyond Trump. This asset freeze is going to destroy the Trump brand permanently. Trump has always marketed himself as a successful businessman. That has been his entire identity. He wrote books about it. He had a TV show about it. He ran for president as a businessman who would run the country like a business. But now, the world knows it was all a fraud. Trump's financial statements were lies. His properties are overvalued. His empire is collapsing. Who is going to do business with Trump after this? Who is going to stay at a Trump hotel? Who is going to join a Trump golf club? Who is going to license the Trump name for their building? Nobody. The brand is toxic. Even if Trump somehow survives politically, which he will not, his business career is over. He will never recover from this. The Trump organization as we know it is finished. And there is a personal toll too. Trump's wealth is his identity. He has defined himself by his net worth for his entire life. He is obsessed with being seen as rich and successful, and now it is all being taken away. The properties are frozen. The bank accounts are frozen. Trump cannot access his own money. He cannot operate his businesses. He is watching his empire crumble in real time, and there is nothing he can do about it. That has to be psychologically devastating. Combined with impeachment, the arrest warrant, the recordings, the Senate defections, Trump is being destroyed on every level: financial, political, legal, personal, all of it at once. Let us talk about the 2026 midterms. Republicans are finished. Trump's collapse is going to destroy the party. Democrats are going to run on a simple message. Republicans enabled a fraud, a criminal, an abuser of power. Vote Democrat if you want competent leadership. That is going to be incredibly effective. Republicans have no counter message. They cannot defend Trump. They cannot run on his record. They are stuck. Democrats are going to win in a landslide. They could pick up dozens of House seats. They could get a supermajority in the Senate. That means they could pass anything: constitutional amendments, voting rights, health care, climate change legislation, everything. And Republicans would be powerless to stop it. This could reshape American politics for a generation. The Republican Party as we know it might not survive. And let us talk about Trump's legacy. He is going to be remembered as the worst president in American history. The only president removed from office through impeachment. The president whose business empire collapsed due to fraud. The president who ordered policies that killed American citizens. The president who defied court orders. The president who crashed the economy. The president who destroyed his own party. That is Trump's legacy. It is permanent. There is no redemption. Future generations will study Trump as a cautionary tale. This is what happens when you elect a con man. This is what happens when you ignore red flags. This is what happens when institutions fail to check executive power. Trump is the example of everything that can go wrong. So where are we right now? Trump's business empire is frozen. He cannot operate his properties. He cannot access his bank accounts. Mar-a-Lago is shuttered. The Trump organization is collapsing. Trump's approval rating is at at 25%. The Senate has enough Republican defections locked in to convict. The trial starts in days. Trump's conviction and removal are guaranteed. There is an arrest warrant out for Trump. Marshals are trying to take him into custody. Millions of protesters are rioting in the streets. The stock market has crashed thousands of points, and Trump has no escape. Every door is closed. Every option is eliminated. Financial collapse, political collapse, legal collapse, all happening simultaneously. This is the end. Trump's empire is crumbling. His presidency is ending. His legacy is sealed, and there is nothing he can do to stop it. This is checkmate.